So sitting definitely makes it on my top 10 hobbies list right next to typing with 10 fingers. By the way, guys, make sure to like and subscribe because people who don't like or subscribe have a chance of being raided by vegans who will locate and consume all greenery within your property line using echolocation. That's right, Americans, they do it without a warrant, so like and subscribe. Even though it's just a slight chance, you can never be too safe. So you sit when you do a bunch of stuff. For example, you sit when you do online school. If you don't, then you're a minority. You also sit when you take a shit. Some people crouch, but I haven't met anyone who stands. Maybe I do know someone who stands, but it's just a strange topic to bring up with someone. Like, hey dude, how was your day? My day was great, how was yours? Do you stand when you take a shit? Like, no, that's not how conversations go. That's not how they take place. So I have my rules, you may have a self rule, I have a self rule here, and if I shit, I have to sit. Sitting while taking a leak is also a habit of mine. Look, I just don't have good aim. I know it's not really pro gamer, but I can't really practice. I can't really practice P-aim with aim labs or something. Then I don't want to risk a permanent ban for aimbot. Well, I'd probably risk it if there were wall hacks. Just like have the toilet bowl light up and I blast my pee through the wall at 3000 psi. But anyways, I only sit down. At home though. Because first, you may be thinking, well, how do you use the bathroom at school if you need to go number 2, for example? You just don't go number 2 at school. That's the simplest explanation. There's no way my butt is touching the same seat as every other male at my school. It's just not happening. So anyways, back to chairs, okay? So I've used many chairs. If you're a chair veteran like me, you know that there's a clear tier list of chairs. There's material, there's weight, there's balance, there's comfort. Those are all factors you have to take into consideration when choosing a place to lay your butt. So there are those. Okay, I'm going to provide you guys an example. There are those minimalist airport chairs that look really clean, very nice. They look amazing in an airport setting. But once you sit down on them, they're as comfortable as sleeping on a stop sign that was run over by a FedEx truck. You know what I'm talking about, alright? Imagine the scenario. You arrive at the airport 3 hours before boarding, and you spend like a large fraction of your lifespan sitting on a refined subway seat. And on the other hand, there are those grandma chairs that actually feel good. You can actually sleep on them if you wanted to, and they're always wrapped in a blanket of unknown origins. They may not look appealing, but they feel really good. That's the opposite side of the spectrum. But then again, all of these factors matter. And this brings me to my experience. So my first gaming chair, that's right, your boy has gaming chairs. It was actually a dinner table chair, yes. I would game at my dinner table. But sentient, doesn't that mean you had to move your setup every time you had dinner? Well, my family never actually, until recently, we never actually ate dinner at a dinner table. My mom would just like make food, and then we'd take the food and eat somewhere else, and then we'd just leave the plates in the sink, and my sister would wash the dishes. That's right, I was fortunate enough to have that privilege. So I'd just leave my setup where it was. It wasn't anything special. It was like, I think it was an Intel i3 with like some random Logitech mouse. And I wouldn't play anything too sweaty, so like the armrests didn't really matter to me at the time. Like, I think the most sweaty thing I was playing was probably moo.io, browser games, but there are always those sweats, and whatever you do, there are always sweats. It's simply a fact. And so after after, like, my dinner table, there was like this plastic thing on top of it, and it would eventually, like, it would it would shift, like, every week. It would, like, half of the plastic stuff, it would be on one side of it, and half of it would be on one side, and then I'd have to take everything off the table, and I'd have to align it again, and so that started to get annoying. So my mom cleaned out, like, this office space, and she told me to use that. And it actually had an office chair, except, like, the leather was coming off of it. Wasn't really appealing, but again, I wasn't a sweaty gamer. It didn't really matter to me. And after that, it got dirty again, and I didn't really like sitting there, because it was right next to the bathroom. People are loud, and so I sat on a recliner after that, and I used one of those, like, bed table things, and it was really comfortable. It was a very comfortable experience playing a browser game on a recliner. I'd recommend it if you're under 10. And then fast forward few years, plastic chair, grandma dinner table chair, random chair that has like a rip in the cushion, and then here I am. All right, around 3 to 4 years later, I had an office chair, and this was a really nice chair. It was a huge upgrade from all the chairs that I've had before, and this office chair, it felt amazing compared to anything I've ever experienced before. The armrests, they were a little too high, so I didn't really use them, and it was too big for the desk I was using, but overall very comfortable. I would at this stage in my life, I was playing games like I was playing Minecraft, nothing too sweaty until I logged on to Hypixel. Then, but that's a story for another day. My experience with Hypixel, and so then I got my current chair. All right, here's some history. I replaced the chair I was using with another office chair. So my family has, like, we have this property and we rent it out to, like, college students, because college students, you just read it as free rent money. That's how you read it. That's from a real estate point of view, POV. So this property, it had a garage, and that garage is used for, like, storage, for extra storage. We put, like, stuff that you don't want to use, but stuff that you don't want to throw away either. So my dad and we went to go get a bed, like a bed frame from the garage, because I don't know why, man. I think, like, there was a problem with one of the bed frames in the house. So we went to go over there, and turns out we actually own an office chair. This office chair, he asked me, hey, do you want to use this office chair? It feels really nice. And of course, the armrests, they were so plush. They were very plush. It's like hugging a 4 foot tall teddy bear, except it's not a 4 foot tall teddy bear, and it's made of leather. Like, yeah, let's take this office chair home. And so I switched my current office chair out with this new one, right? And my experience gaming, it was so much better. My experience typing was so much better, because I could actually use the armrests, where my previous chair and the armrests were too high. Alright, but all good things must come to an end, unfortunately. And what you see here is me making a CAD model of the armrest, so that it will help me explain the faulty design in the chair. And unfortunately, the chair broke. That's why I'm doing this. Alright, I need you guys to observe. So this is it's a pretty good representation of my left armrest for my current chair. And there are things I need to point out. First of all, there's nothing securing this black piece to this thing other than the screws that are right here. There's nothing securing it here. It's just gravity. All right. Now that I put that aside, let me explain how this armrest works. So you just put your arm on this thing. All right. So the situation was, let me explain. So I was sitting for a large fraction of the day, and I wanted to get up, so to move my legs. No, I just wanted to let my posterior breathe. So I want, but instead of actually standing up, I put all my weight on on both armrests, and I lifted myself up that way, because using legs is for normies. I put all my weight on this piece right here, and it snapped. The plastic, it just snapped like this. It snapped like that. So it opened up like a clam, and then once I was done stretching, it snapped. It went right back into place, and I wasn't able to tell that it was actually broken if I didn't hear it, and if I didn't put weight on this part, no, on the armrest again, because I put weight on it, and it just like opened up like a clam, and my arm fell. I just unscrewed the armrest from the chair, and so I'm now sitting on a chair with only one armrest on it, and it's not really affecting my gameplay experience because this is the left armrest and I'm right-handed. But anyways, yeah, but it did affect my sitting experience a lot, because now I can't sit back and read with both arms being supported. So yeah, it's a first world problem. Thank you guys for listening, and yeah, see ya.